Welcome, everyone. I want to introduce Mayor Quentin Hart from Waterloo. Mayor Hart, we've endorsed twice previously, back in 2021 and again in 2023. Mayor Hart's involved in a runoff election, which will be held on Tuesday, December 2nd. And so we're going to give Mayor Hart first 5 or 6 minutes to do the introduction of himself and talk a little about his campaign, and we'll ask a couple questions. So
All right.
without further ado, Mayor Hart, the floor is
All right.
yours.
All right. Thank you, Mitch. And thank you, everyone, for taking time out on this one very important day. It's, of course, Veterans Day. And so a lot of activities across the state. So just want to, if we have anybody on that's a veteran, I just want to say thank you for your service as well. But yes, Mayor Quentin Hart, I've been on mayor for, 9 years, 11 months, about 11 days and about 18 hours. And I'll tell you, I have enjoyed probably every minute that I've been blessed to have this opportunity to serve the city of Waterloo. Prior to that, I was on the Waterloo City Council for 8 years, and 6 of those years was as mayor pro tem. But born and raised in the area, parents, my dad worked at John Deere, my mom worked at Allen Hospital. And they actually were from Mississippi and met in Waterloo, Iowa. And so that describes the city. Our tagline for our 2030 vision plan is a community of opportunity, because historically, Waterloo has been a place that would embrace people from all across the entire world. Of course, we've had heavy industry here from John Deere's to Tyson's. Uh, Formerly, it was the Rath packing plant as well. But tremendous opportunity here for people wanting to come and build a life. I am married to Cassandra Hart, who definitely helps my likability scale, and have 3 children. Quentin Jr. attends St. Ambrose in Davenport. Quentin, he's a freshman at Wartburg, and my daughter is in 8th grade. And so just blessed to have this opportunity. But over the last couple years, it's been a very busy time. We have introduced a number of different projects into our community that we feel are game changers for our long-term community growth. Waterloo Fiber, it'll be the largest municipal telecom in the entire state once it's up. Completely 100% owned by a governing board, so it's public. But that is almost all the way completed, and that's going to help close that digital equity divide. We've also been working very hard in our industrial districts to try to get back some of that challenge that we had with recruiting and attracting jobs. We've done a number of things when it comes to affordable housing and overall marketing for the city. We've had sustainability projects, which I was able to answer a little bit on the questionnaire. But just trying to make sure that this city is one of the most inclusive places there are in the entire state. We've had a city where there has been tremendous amount of underserved folks within this community. For the first 50 years of my life, I actually lived on the northeast side of town, where we have always needed a little bit more TLC for us to become all that we need to become as a community. But we've had a lot of successes over the last several years. We've been named a thriving community for our reinvestment into underserved areas, and just the work that we're doing all across the city with regards to housing and redevelopment. Huge mall project. As you know, 70% of malls across America are no longer operating in the same capacity or completely gone. So we had Crossroads Mall, so we have been working on that to try to bring that back to life. Just a number of different projects that are happening throughout the city. And at the same time, we are trying to have all of these incredible things that we're doing for this city. We have had to do that under duress with this state legislature. If you're on the state legislator right now and you're there, I don't apologize for my comments. That has been the biggest threat to our cities outside of the changes in federal government right now, from taking dollars away from our city and just making it really tough for us to make ends meet. And not just on that, but also when it comes to critical thinking, when it comes to diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's been a very challenging time in this state, in this city, and across this country. And we've been able to try to navigate those as long as the budget impacts on the state level. So I'm just blessed to be able to have this opportunity to serve. And lastly, I am in an election, of course, running against someone that I actually helped get elected, who's voted for probably 99% of the stuff that we put on the agenda. And they've been running a very negative campaign, trying um, to show me as a DEI at times hiring person to that we had a grocery store by an African American developer that didn't succeed. And so, of course, because he's African American and I'm African American, we have to be related, or I have to be getting a cut off of that store. And so, just a very negative campaign. I've tried to keep it above board and just talk about accomplishments, because we have a lot of receipts. We have a lot of positive things that are happening. And so that's been my entire focus in this campaign. So yeah, I am open to questions.
Okay, Mayor Hart, in reference to question one on the questionnaire we gave you, um, and you mentioned it earlier in your discussion here, is with federal funding not being stable as in previous years, and even with state funding in reference to like property taxes, because you know that property tax reform is going to come up again, probably early in the session in January or February. Um, do you have a plan B in the funding your priority projects? And are there other uh, funding available out there with nonprofits or for-profit organizations that can help with funding, just in case, with the federal funding and state funding, they're not there later next year? So are there priorities for you?
So incredible question. Because I just saw today that the state government gave Cedar Rapids back some of their traffic camera dollars. Now, a lot of people don't like traffic cameras, but when you have communities that have had significant car crashes, not only does it keep our streets a little bit safer because our police department can't go out and police all those areas, but it also is a revenue source for those that are breaking the law. The state took over $2 million from us about a year or so ago, and we're still waiting on that. But when you talk about other revenue sources, what we've done is we have changed the structure of our local option sales tax. It used to be 100% all roads, but now we have voted about a year or so ago, and now we get 20% of that, which is at about 2.4 to $2.6 million that goes directly to our $52 million taxable general fund budget. Also, we are releasing some dollars from our tax increment finance areas. So that'll be an additional revenue that comes to the city. We're going to have to also make some tough decisions. Taking away the scientific levy and the library levy puts one of our museums at a heavy risk right now for that $600,000 that the community voted for. That number is probably potentially going to come down as well. And so we are also working heavily with our philanthropic groups. The first couple years that I've been mayor, I think it was about $3 million. Now, over the last 3 years or so, our philanthropic organizations have put in more than $23 million for significant projects within our local community. We've also taken a look at public-private partnerships, like the redoing of City Hall. We are moving to a different City Hall. We're swapping buildings with another developer because they don't give us a whole lot of money to do those things. Then we're able to offer him incentives to be able to fix up the old City Hall in another building and put those on the tax revenue rolls. So public-private partnerships, philanthropic partnerships, changes in revenue sources, and some careful cuts are is what going to make is going to make the difference. And we're going to fully support our public safety.
Also, a second question in reference to question one of the questionnaire. What are your city strategies to ensure access to clean drinking water? Because this is an issue throughout the state, but especially in our larger urban areas.
So we have our Waterloo Waterworks, who already has a pretty incredible strategic plan on all the work that they're doing in those areas. Over the last probably 3 to 4 years, we probably invested more money into our water system than we did the 6 or 7 years prior. So Waterloo Waterworks is making sure that that's taken care of, and we're in a very good condition. But what I also wanted to report on, when I started 10 years ago, we actually had a consent decree for sanitary backups and overflows within our community. That was a 32-year consent decree. We actually have we've been let off that consent decree in less than 10 years under my administration, and at the same time invested more than $80 million into our public infrastructure in those areas. So from our strategic planning with our waterworks department to our sanitary overflows and consent decree, the city's poised to move forward. And we have some of the least expensive quality water in the entire state of Iowa per cost.
Well, thank you, Mayor Hart. You got about a minute and a half, so about 90 seconds. They're going to close it out, and I'll take the last 30 seconds just to let folks know what we're gonna do with the endorsement process over the next few days here.
I get a minute 30 myself.
Yep, but
Oh,
actually
okay.
about a minute. You
Okay,
got
okay.
60 seconds.
So what I want to just say very quickly, because I was selected 2 times before, I don't take this opportunity for granted. We have done incredible work within the city. It's always been on the margins and a little bit of cash strap when it comes to our general fund, but we have really had to tap into public-private partnerships and our philanthropy to continue to grow this city. Our permit value this year was over $304 million, which is over 2,100 jobs, whether construction or whether employment, that were created this past year. So my community is moving forward. We're changing a lot. We're never going to stop talking about creating equity in neighborhoods. We're never going to stop making sure that we care about the least of these in our community while we're building an infrastructure for the future. So we are poised. We are in a much better situation than we were 10 years ago. And I am just so excited that I can continue to serve. And I'm in a tough election runoff, and I need your help and support.